You see this tie, when I started this tie, I started with slash and spread method, which you can see. But on the second thought, I decided to devise another means to make these ties, to make it more simpler and understandable. And this is the end result. So let's get into this video. And if you haven't subscribed to this if this is your first time of stopping by, please do take 1 minute to hit on the subscribe button, join the family. And to my old subscribers, I say thank you very much for all your support. So without wasting so much time, let's get into the video, and give me a thumbs up if you find value in this video, and I will see you at the end of the video. So for this tie, we'll be cutting our back bodice first, and what I have here is my bust measurement divided by 4 plus about 8 inches. That's what I folded here. So you go ahead and fold according to what you want, but I added extra 8 inches allowance to mine. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and mark a straight line to serve as our starting point. And from that straight line, we're going to go ahead and start inserting all our measurements. So placing my tape at the first the line, I'm going down by 8 inches for my bust point, 7 inches for my bust point, then 13 inches for my half length, and then I'll go ahead and mark my full length. We are not marking our hip because we are not going to be making use of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark the full length of the gown, which is at 30 inches. So this gown is for a 7-year-old. Then I'm going to add 2 inches stitching allowance to it. Just like I keep saying on this channel, please measure your child. Children are different sizes, even though they are of the same age. So we are going to go ahead and insert our neckline measurement, and for the width of the neckline, I am going out by 2.5 inches. And remember, I said this is for our back neckline. And then for the depth one, I am marking at 1 inch. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect this as for a round neck. Remember, it has a collar, so we are keeping the neckline small. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark half of my shoulder measurement, and I'll go ahead and connect this to our bust point. So we're just trying to mark out a basic idea of what we want before we go ahead and make some adjustments to it. Then for my shoulder slope, I went down by 1 inch, and then I'll connect it to our starting point. And that's all for what we are going to be doing at this moment. When you look at what I am cutting at that armhole, you can see that I am not cutting the exact armhole. I'm not shaping it the exact way I want. That's because we're going to be reshaping it later as we go on with the video. So for the front neckline, for the front bodies, I'm going to go ahead and place the back bodies on it. And please remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed up to this moment. Take 1 minute to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you find value on this video, and share my videos to family and friends. So for the front body, still folding my fabric into 2, I left an allowance of 2.5 inches before I place the back bodies on it. So this is for our button and our buttonhole. So I'll go ahead and arrange all my fabric, and then for my neckline, for my front neckline, I am going down by 2.5 inches. And as you know, on this channel, I won't cut exactly 2.5 inches, so that by the time the reason for this is so that by the time I am done folding in the buttonhole, is not going to I will not have shortage of fabric there, so I normally don't cut it exactly. Once I am done folding the button, I'll now go ahead and reshape the neckline before attaching my collar. So that's how I do mine. I don't know about other people, but that's how I do mine. So this is it after I was done. Next thing I'm going to do is to fold in our buttonhole. So folding in our button, I'll make a first fold 1/2 inch, and then I'll fold over again by 1 inch, and I'll stitch it from one end to the other. I'll do the same thing for the other side. So let's walk let's work on the design on the let's say kind of that on the style. So the first thing I did is to fold our back bodies into two, and I make a mark at the center. So I'll mark the points that I make at the center back straight, all the way straight from the shoulder, from the starting point to the end. So from that starting point, I am going from that center back, I'm going to go out by 3 inches on both sides, and I'll make a mark there. And this mark, I am making it towards my half length. Then from the other side as well, I'll make a mark of 3 inches there. Then measuring from my shoulder, I will measure from my shoulder downward by 11 inches. Sorry, I'll measure 11 inches. I'll make a mark at my 11 inches, and then from that 11 inches, I'll go down by about 4 inches, and I'll make a mark there. So I'm marking at 11 and then at 15 inches, if I am not mistaken, and I'll do the same thing for the other side. And remember, we marked from the center front the 3 inches, center back 3 inches, sorry. So I'm just connecting these lines so that by the time we want to stitch, we are not going to be making any mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and fold from that 11 inches to that 15 inches. That's the only place I'm going to be stitching, and I'm stitching at half of an inch. You are going to be stitching it from the back. So this is it after stitching. You can see I just stitched at about 4 inches. I made a stitching of about 4 inches. You don't want to fold in too big, so that the effect is not extended. So from that first stitch that we made, I'm going out again by 1.5 inches, and then I'll also mark it downward. So at that 1.5 inches, you're going to pull fabric from the side to meet that 1.5 inches. You don't want to, by the time you stitch it down, you are less than 1.5 inches. I just hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So by the time you pull it in from the seam side, you're going to pin that down, and then pull more as you go down towards that 15 inches. You are going to make the you are going to put in more fabrics. So instead of, you started by 5 of an inch, but by the time you get to that 5 inches, you're going to have like about 1 inch or more. You know, the way you connect your darts at the back side, or at the back when you are making an adult clothes, at the back side, you know, it's in a slanted form. So that's exactly how you're going to do this second one I am talking about. I just hope you understand what I am trying to say. So for that design there, we are going to be attaching an eyelet there. So for the length of it, I measured it, and it's 4 inches. Remember, it is 4 inches that we are stitching on. So you're going to attach this before you stitch down the second one. That second, should I call it that? Second dart. So for the width of it, I am marking at 2.5 inches. For the length is 5 inches, because you're going to stitch on both sides by half of an inch. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. And we are cutting four pieces for it. Once I am done, I'll stitch on both sides of the piece, and you can see I have 4 pieces here. I'm just cutting out all the excesses I have there, and then I'll turn it to the right side. Once I am done, I'll bring in the bodice, just like I was saying. So from the front, you're going to attach it just like you are putting something inside a pocket. So you're going to put this in, pin it down with your pin, and then turn to the wrong side to the back of the bodice, and then stitch it down from the back, just like we did for the front, for the first dart there. So you're going to now stitch it down. Remember, the stitching is going to be in a slanted form. You are starting by about half of an inch, and then by the time you get to the 5 inches, it's going to be about 1 inch or more than, depending on how wide you want your plate to be. And I'll do the same thing for the other side. So for the front pattern of it, where you are going to start your measurement is after your buttonhole measurement. That's where you take your 3 inches and then take the remaining 1.5 inches before and for those darts, and adding the piece for the eyelet. So this is it. This is the front center front. By the time you push it down, you can see the effect is giving. That plate is there and sitting pretty. And the first plate is small. It does not extend to the hem area. I just hope you guys can see this because of the fabric I am using. So this is the other side of it. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the style. You can go ahead and trim this off and serge it, but for me, I think I'll be leaving it. There's no need trimming it off. So I'll bring in the back bodice. You can see how the back bodice is. I'll bring it in, and then I'll go ahead I'll go ahead and do front facing front for the bodice. Once I am done arranging it, I'll go ahead and start pinning it down, and I'll stitch it by 1/2 inch on both shoulders. So this is it after stitching. All I am doing now is to pin away this button allowance so that we can be able to reshape this shirt dress. Remember, we've not shaped it in as at the beginning of the style. So I'll just arrange all my pieces, and then I'll fold it into 2 from the center. Just make sure you arrange everything very well, and if possible, pin it down to hold it in place, just like I did. So from the shoulder neck, from the neckline, from the shoulder point, I am going down by 7 inches for our bust point. Remember, we went down by 7 inches for our bust point, and then I'll mark a line straight for that, and then I'll go ahead and mark and measure my bust divided by 4. I'll make a mark there, and then I'm going to be adding 1 inch for ease. It's not if it's a free gown. If you want, you can make it fitted, but for me, I decided to give it 1 inch for a bit to make it a bit free. Then I'll also mark my shoulder to recut it, because I didn't cut out my extra shoulder at the beginning of the video. Once I make a mark there, I'll go ahead and then shaping my armhole, just like the normal way of shaping in your armhole. And I'll add also 1.5 inches stitching allowance for this before going ahead to cut it out. So you can see the way I am taking my hand out as I was going towards my waist. So that's how you're going to be doing that. If you look at the style, you can see that it's kind of in this A-line form. So that's the reason for adding that 8 inches stitching allowance, so that you can have a little excess for it to like be like an A-line. So this is what we have after shaping it. You can see that it's coming together. So the next thing I did is to just pipe my armhole. And you can see I've already piped my armhole. So this is my collar. I've gone ahead to cut out everything and then iron it. The tutorial for it will be in the description box. Please check it out so that this video is not too long. So what I'm doing is to place the neckline into the collar by 1/2 of an inch, and I will stitch it from one end to the other. You can as well mark your neckline by 1/2 inch, so that by the time you are pushing in, you are sure of what you are pushing in, and then you stitch it down all the way. So this is it after stop stitching it. In fact, this extra fabric I am using, I don't know if I made the right choice of color, but I've already started it and there's no going back. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to stitch on the two seam side. And that's all for this style. You go ahead and hem this and then attach your eyelets and get your rope for to snatch that waist. And this will be so beautiful on an adult, you know, someone that wants to snatch their waist. I think it will be so beautiful. So I'll just hem this, go ahead and attach my button and my buttonhole, and that's it for this style. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, as usual, to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed up to this moment. Share my videos to family and friends, and I will see you in my next videos. Thank you so much for watching.